Hi everybody and welcome back. My name's Alison, the online piano and the online violin tutor. Welcome to lesson 21 from Learn to Play the Piano book 3. This is a follow-on series from my Learn to Play the Piano books 1 and book 2. What's new for book 3 is that it actually comes available with a song book 3 as well. Now song book 3 is full of 10 pieces which have some classical, well-known classical pieces in and some original pieces in, and basically they are all the kind of additional pieces that go hand in hand with everything that you've learned in book 3. So the links of where you can buy these books will be coming up just above my head here, or I'll put a direct link in the description bar underneath this video. These books are a 100% downloadable book, which means that you can buy and print them out wherever you are in the world. These are just copies that I have printed out on my home printer, and I've just bound them up myself for the purpose of this video. So let's get on with the lesson. I just want to point out before I start lesson 21 that you will see that this part of the book is blurred out, and it's only just been blurred out for copyright. When you download and print out your copy of the book, obviously you'll get a perfect edition. So lesson 21, recapping from book 2. So below here are the points that you would have understood from book 2. It is a good idea that you do understand and you know the points, these 4 points here that we did cover in book 2, because it's all cumulative information. So anything that you would have learned from book 2 you need to know before you go on to book 3. If you haven't gone through book 2 and you're a complete beginner, it's advisable to go and look through book 2. But if you already know the stuff from book 2, then you know it's fine that you can jump in at this part. But this here will tell you the things that you need to know in order to move on to the rest of this book. So you would have learned the following scales and arpeggios, hands together, so C, D, F, G, A minor and D minor. It says here, don't worry if you can't play them perfectly just yet. Scales and arpeggios are something that you'll be doing throughout your musical career. So as long as you keep practicing them as sort of a warm-up before you play any of the pieces, etc., then you'll be good to go with those. You'll also be familiar with chromatic scales and country scales. Again, don't worry if they're not fluent yet, because scales and arpeggios and chromatic scales and country scales and all that kind of thing are, again, something that you'll be doing throughout your career. So as long as you keep them up and you keep understanding them, again, you'll be fine. Towards the latter half of book 2, we covered key signatures. Now this is important because you should be able to recognise what key a piece of music is in. Now I'm only talking about the keys from the scales that we just did in book 2, the ones that I just read out a few seconds ago. So as long as you know the scales and you know the key that goes with them, so when you're looking at a piece of music and you see that there's one flat at the beginning, you should know that it's F major, and you should know the scale that goes with F major, because it kind of all links in together, as it says in book 2, and we'll cover a bit more about that in book 3 and book 4 as well. So it is quite important that you do know, just by looking at the key signature of the keys that we've done above, that you do know what key the pieces are in. Finally, you would have learned 2 notes A and B. So this isn't anything kind of particularly new. So in book 1, we had our fingers just on C, D, E, F and G. And in book 2, we kind of developed a little bit on from that, and then we started to look at the notes A and B, which is important because in book 3, again, we're moving on from that. So I think the one thing that you need to take away from this is that we don't have our hand in a fixed position. A lot of folks kind of don't understand the concept that finger, for example, a lot of folks don't understand the concept that the note of E doesn't have to be with finger 3 like we have done from fingers 1, 2, 3 and 5 in book 1. It doesn't have to be 3 on E. Any finger can go on any note and vice versa. The piano has a full-size piano has 88 keys, and we've only got 5 fingers, or 4 fingers and a thumb on each hand. So obviously it's impossible to assign fingers to notes and everything, but that's just how we started at the beginning. At the beginning we can't just go bulldozing in learning all of the notes, otherwise it's going to be too complicated. That's lesson 21, basically recapping from book 2. You might not think this lesson is important, but honestly it is really important, because like I said, it's cumulative. Music is a step-by-step process. When I'm teaching my students at home, I honestly and truly, I cannot move a student on unless they know the information that we've done beforehand, because it just doesn't work that way. If I give a piece to a student to practice, they come back the following week and they haven't practiced it, we're still back where we are the following week. Music is all about learning and practicing what you're learning. So if you're not practicing what you're learning and taking in that information, it's almost impossible to move on. So that's lesson 21. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Don't forget that the links of where to buy Learn to Play the Piano Book 3 and the Songbook 3 will both be linked directly underneath this video. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next lesson.